Yo, 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 what's up, all you burner stones and potheads? This is Weedman420 with the Weedman420 Chronicles. How are all you vipers doing out there? Mrs. Weedman.
Mr. Weedman.
How the hell are you?
Wow. I'm great.
I love it. Hey, all you vipers out there in the world, don't forget to smoke some big fat doinks while you're listening to the show. But before we get started, Mrs. Weedman and I are going to be covering the latest and greatest in cannabis news, research, health, science, international news, culture, political state news. We got it all for you in this episode. Get ready, because now Mrs. Weedman and I are about to get normal with some Night Phantom given to me by the owner, Miss Tiffany Jackson. And I'd like to thank her. So this is called Night Phantom. This is their Dusk strain, which is indica born from the powerful cross of meat breath times PCS1. Dusk delivers a deep, full-body experience designed to help you unwind and settle into the night. Expect rich, earthy, funk-layered with grassy finish, creating a smooth, heavy effect and eases tension and quiets the mind. Precision-packed into these 10 mini-pack pre-rolls. We've mentioned these before about California doing these 0.25 milligram pre-rolls. It was like a big hit, and these things are great.
Filter?
Yeah, the filter's nice and long. Yeah. So Dusk provides a slow, even burn, perfect for those moments when you're ready to disconnect and recharge. In the Night Phantom universe, Dusk, where the noise fades and the power shifts inward, slows down, lock in, move like the Phantom. And this is all a comic book theme series. It's great. This is really good. It put me to sleep last night. And it was pretty good. And I really enjoyed it. I have to shut the fan off. Give me 1 second, everybody. I forgot. Oh, there we go. Hopefully you didn't hear that in the beginning of the episode. So I'm going to light mine up and smoke this Dusk strain.
I didn't wait for you, Mr. Weedman.
That's okay.
I jumped the gun.
We got to each our own joint today because they're little 0.25ers. So they're like almost like doing like a one hitter and stuff. So, but while I'm smoking and Mrs. Weedman's smoking, she's going to tell you a little bit about 8decades.com. Tell us about it, Mrs. Weedman.
If you're new to the show, check us out at 8decades.com. That's EIGHT decades.com. And that's where you're going to find our cannabis lifestyle brand. So we created that brand through conversation, ways that we could continue our advocacy, and conversations that we had about how to take the podcast to the next level. So we created a wonderful brand with great products, high quality stuff. So it's your one and done kind of goods. So head over, check it out, sign up for our newsletter, and you will get free shipping on your first order. And be sure to click around on the site and you'll learn a little bit more about us and our advocacy, what we do, why we do it. You'll also find swag for the Weedman420 show.
Yay.
Yeah. So check us out at 8decades.com.
And as we always say, if you support 8decades.com, we get to pay Shawty, our producer.
Yay.
So, and there's some people that did buy, and I appreciate y'all for supporting the show and throwing to the cause. Just
always.
Yeah. So this little box is pretty neat too. This is their little cannabis themed little Night Phantom. It's kind of neat, kind of cool. So check them out. They're at dispensaries all across Illinois and hopefully the world one day. So thanks, Miss Tiffany and team, for hooking up Mr. and Mrs. Weedman for the show. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Last episode, there was a fly in the room, if you listened to episode 320. And Mrs. Weedman and I were trying to kill it. And guess what? After the show we got done, Mrs. Weedman whacked it out of the air.
I got it.
And she hit it with the notebook and whacked it.
Well,
all of a sudden we were like, where the hell did this thing go? We thought it escaped, and then we found it on the floor. Dead. It was great.
I got it.
So Mrs. Weedman did get the fly, if you were all wondering if we wound up getting it or not.
It's important.
It is important. So especially all of you were involved in it too, because Mrs. Weedman was trying to like kill it while we were recording, and I thought she was going to knock down the neon over here. If you're on YouTube watching this on YouTube, the Weedman neon. I was like, well, please be careful with that. All right, Miss Weedman. Before we dive into the meat and potatoes of the show and everything green, we've got some important question to settle. Okay. Where do you think you can find the greatest hot dog?
Ooh. Well, some would say Chicago.
Mm-hmm. The Chicago dog.
Others might say Frankfurt, Germany.
Mm-hmm. But this is the United States.
Some might say Coney Island.
Nathan's.
Some might say New York
Dirty
hot dog
water.
carts.
The dirty water hot dogs. They call it dirty water.
There's I don't know.
I love a New York hot
There's a
dog.
guy, I believe in Hawaii, that started a hot dog stand that was like hot dogs from around the world. The menu was like featured with like your big city hot dog specialties.
Yep, there is. So Hawaii is one called the puka dog.
That's probably. Oh wait, they've got their own dog.
Polish sausage, garlic, lemon sauce, tropical fruit relish.
What?
And there's the spam musabi in Hawaii hot dog. And then in California, you have the La Dodger dog, which is a 10-inch hot dog sold as a foot long.
LA Dodgers.
LA Dodger dog, sorry. La Dodger dog. I'm stoned already.
La Dodger dog.
La Dodger dog. You like that?
It's very
the
California.
LA Dodger dog. Yeah. Very, very Hollywood-esque. Optional. So basically, it's a 10-inch hot dog sold as a foot long. Optional toppings of ketchup, mustard, sweet relish, diced onions.
Why is it sold as a foot long if it's only 10 inches?
I don't know.
Bullshit.
I don't know. Then you have the Seattle dog in Washington, which is butterflied hot dog, cream cheese, caramelized onions served on a bun. We didn't have that when we went there.
Where was that?
Seattle.
Sounds
Then
good.
there's the corn dog of Iowa. We all know what a corn dog is, right? And then in Wisconsin, Milwaukee, you have the bratwurst,
Yeah.
right? Illinois tends to be a fan favorite here because we were in Illinois. Chicago dog, which is all beef frankfurter on a steamed poppy
A
seed bun.
Vienna beef dog.
Vienna beef, loaded with 7 specific toppings: yellow mustard, bright green relish, chopped onions, and we're talking about bright green relish. That shit is like neon. You can see it from miles away. Tomato wedges, a pickle spear, sport, peppers, and celery salt. Now,
So good.
here in Chicago, though, in Illinois, we don't put fucking ketchup on our hot dogs. What you do anywhere else, here in Illinois, you will get made fun of.
Yes, you will.
Oh, big time if you put ketchup on your hot dogs. The Detroit Coney, Michigan dog, which is really good. I've had that. It's chili, mustard, and onion.
Ooh, I like
Really, really good. The Cleveland Polish Boy, which is a kielbasa topped with coleslaw, French fries, and barbecue sauce. That's different. Yeah.
That sounds good.
Then you have the Slaw Dog, which is West Virginia, which is a streak of yellow mustard directly on the bun. Hot dog topped with finely diced white and yellow onions and ladled with beef chili, crowned with creamy slaw. I don't know if that's for me.
I don't know about that.
But then there's the Kentucky, Eastern Kentucky, the chili dog, a hot dog in a bun topped with chili, onions, and yellow mustard.
Okay.
Sounds good.
That was Ohio too, wasn't
That
it?
was Michigan. That was Michigan. Yeah. And then you have Baltimore bologna dog, which is in Maryland. Split a beef hot dog, fried bologna slices, chopped raw onion, yellow mustard, pickle spear, and a hot dog on a dog or on the side.
What?
That's different.
Yeah.
And then you have upstate New York now, which is the white hot. White sausage made of uncured, unsmoked blend of pork, beef, and veal, often served with meat hot sauce.
Ew.
Different.
Sounds terrible.
Everybody in upstate
Sorry.
New York is like, hey.
That sounds awful.
Let's see here. We have the Delaware dog, which is grilled split hot dog on a steamed olive roll with everything: mustard, fresh chopped onions, a heavily ladled of secret sauce, finely ground meat sauce.
What's with the meat sauce?
I don't know.
Like spaghetti sauce? Like an American ragu on top of
It just as a meat sauce.
Oh. Maybe it's chili.
Maybe some sort of something. Meaty.
Manwich. It's like manwich.
Oh, I used to like manwich when I was a kid. Then you have the New Jersey has the Italian style Newark dog, which is deep fried hot dog, fried potatoes, sauteed onions, green peppers, mustard, no bun, served in pizza bread.
Yeah.
That's different.
Maybe.
Then you have the I'll get to that one last. Then you have the South Jersey dog, dirty dog, which is beef hot dog topped with shaved ribeye steak, fried onions, melted Cooper sharp American cheese.
I don't know.
And then you have probably, it's just, come on now. Oh, wait, let's go to this one. This is Rhode Island. This is Rhode Island first, which is New York System dog in Rhode Island. Smoked pork, veal, and beef hot dog on a steamed New England style split top bun, slapped with mustard and topped with ground meat sauce and chopped raw onions and a sprinkle of celery sauce. That sounds like just a whole mess all over my face.
I bet it's great, but I don't know.
Okay, so
the meat sauce.
I grew up in the Bronx, New York, everybody. And I love a good Chicago dog, don't get me wrong, but I am born and raised in the Bronx, New York, and not born, but raised in the Bronx, New York. And New York City street cart dirty water is something in my favorite. So that's a boiled hot dog in a steamed bun with a choice of mustard, ketchup, relish, or sauerkraut. Now, how I grew up in the Bronx and got my hot dogs was hot dog, mustard, and sauerkraut. Absolutely fantastic. And then there was the hot dog with mustard and onion, but it wasn't raw onion. New York had a special kind of onion in my heart that I know how to make.
Yes.
Yes. It is just, it's like sauteed in butter, and then they add different stuff to it, and it's just like a gravy.
There's like ketchup,
tomato paste, Worcestershire,
little bit of
spicy mustard,
butter.
Butter. You cook the onions with the butter, yeah, and they cook down. They turn red. And that's a red sauce, red onion sauce. Yeah. It's just fucking fantastic. I'm like drooling out of my mouth right now, because I usually make that too for like barbecues and holidays and stuff. And but like I said, I've had a few of those dogs on that list. So Mrs. Weedman and I are foodies. We love traveling and going to finding the food. And people ask me all the time when I'm out with them, especially here in Illinois. I know if I go to a certain city or a town, I know the food spots in that place because I sold beer for a long time. So I get to know those spots. And every time I'm with people now, with them for weed, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to take you here. Like, oh, that place was still, how do you know? I'm like, I just know.
We're talking like grubby, like, where do the locals go? Where's the good food that like is off the, the neighborhood, like suggested places to eat, like just,
we want to know where the locals go. And not that we don't want tourist trap shit. Yeah.
But it's no big to do.
Right. That's what we always ask the locals. Where do you like to hang out at? Where do you go for good food? Where do you go? What are the cool dive bars that the locals hang out at? And that's where we go. We want to be where the real action's at, not the fake action.
Okay, so I looked up the meat sauce. So
for the Jersey
it's
dog?
But it's like Michigan, Ohio, Jersey, Coney dog. So it's like Coney, it's called Coney sauce or meat sauce. Okay, and it's really like...
It's like a chili.
It's like a chili.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Coney dog in Michigan is fucking pretty legit.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so good.
So good. Yeah, it's ground beef, onion, ketchup, sugar, vinegar, yellow mustard sauce, Worcestershire, salt, celery seed, black pepper.
Oh, that sounds
not quite a chili.
Sounds fantastic.
But it sounds kind of yummy.
Sounds like I'll be shitting my pants the next day too. That'd be great. I'll be on the toilet a lot.
Call you KK Poopy Pants. Nobody knows that story.
No, we'll tell it one day. That's funny as hell that you said that. KK Poopy Pants. You want to tell it before we get started?
I don't know.
No, people might not get the joke. We'll tell it one day.
Yeah.
Come and hang out with us and smoke some weed with us, and we'll tell you the story. It'll be more funny with Mrs. Weedman telling it live. So, Mrs. Weedman, I might have to make this an official Weedman420 Chronicles road trip one day. Travel the country, visit dispensaries where it's legal,
and eat hot dogs,
and find the best munchy spots and crown the ultimate hot dog champion. Wow. I mean, that's basically a scientific research, right?
Yeah.
And we can write that off taxes too, because it's a road trip for the business.
Yeah.
Where we have to do stuff for the podcast and stuff. So not a bad idea. Yuki will be in heaven.
Yeah, if she gets to eat a hot dog at every step.
All right, everybody. Before we get you all hungry, go out there and fire up your favorite strain, man. Because Mrs. Weedman,
yeah,
you ready to get the show started?
I am.
All right, let's do this. I had to learn some hard words today.
Yeah,
right.
What are you talking about?
So, the research article is a comparative analysis of the action mechanism of CBG, CBD, and CBN in human. Now I'm stoned. I practiced this word so much. Colonial carcinoma. That's how you say it. Colonial carcinoma. I'll tell you what it is in a second. Cell lines published in the Journal of Molecules. All right, everyone, the science articles are getting pretty deep, but don't worry, we're going to break it down without making you feel like you're in a college or a high school chemistry class, okay? Researchers in Thailand wanted to answer a pretty interesting question. We hear a lot about CBD, CBG, and CBN individually, but how they compare when they are tested against one of the most aggressive forms of cancer. I already said the word once. I'm not going to try to say it again. Also known as bile duct cancer. Now, before anyone hears cannabinoids and cancer in the same sentence and thinks we found a miracle cure, let's pump the brakes for a second. The study was done in the laboratory-grown human cancer cells, not in people. That's a huge difference, and it's important to keep that in mind throughout this discussion. So what exactly did the scientists do? They took 2 different human bile duct cancer cell lines and exposed them to 3 non-intoxicating cannabinoids: CBD, CBG, the mother of all cannabinoids, and CBN. They then compared the effects with 2 well-known cancer drugs, kisplatin and gefedafitinib, to see how these cannabinoids stacked up in the lab. I guess I didn't practice all the hard words. There's one more I actually did practice. The first thing they noticed was that all 3 cannabinoids reduced the survival of cancer cells in a dose-dependent manner. In plain English, the higher of concentration of cannabinoids they used, the more cancer cells stopped growing or died. Interestingly, all 3 cannabinoids performed better than cisplatin and the cell model and showed activity similar to gefedatinib under the laboratory conditions tested. That sounds exciting, but remember, Petri dish isn't a human body. The next question was, how were these cannabinoids affecting the cancer cells? One answer involved something called apoptosis. Think of apoptosis as the cell-built-in self-destruct button. Healthy cells use the process all the time to remove damaged or abnormal cells. Cancer cells often figure out how to avoid pushing that button, allowing them to keep multiplying. The researchers found evidence that CBD, CBG, the mother, and CBN all encourage the cancer cells to activate that self-destruct process. That's important because many modern cancer treatments try to do exactly the same thing. Convince cancer cells it's time to shut themselves down. The cannabinoids also disrupted the mitochondria, which are basically the power plants inside every cell. It's like the midichlorians. If you've ever heard of the phrase, the powerhouse of the cell, that's what we're talking about. When the mitochondria stop working correctly, cells struggle to make energy and survival. The study found that cannabinoid treatment caused changes in the mitochondrial membrane, another sign that the cancer cells were headed towards programmed cell death. The research didn't stop there. Cottonmouth. They also looked at protein called the Ki-67. 67, everybody. You don't have to remember the name, but here's why it matters. Ki-67 is commonly used by cancer doctors as a marker for how quickly cancer cells are dividing. Lower Ki-67 level usually means slower cell growth. After cannabinoid treatment, the Ki-67 levels dropped, suggesting that cancer cells weren't multiplying as aggressively. Again, the encouraging, but only within the laboratory experiment. One of the coolest parts of this paper was something called this is the word I practice, Mrs. Weedman. Proteomics. Proteomics is basically taking inventory of thousands of proteins inside a cell to see which ones change after treatment. Instead of asking, did the cells die? Scientists ask, what changed inside the cells that caused them to die? That gives researchers clues about which biological pathways these cannabinoids might influence. The analyst suggested that CBD, CBG, CBN affect multiple pathways involved in cell survival, stress response, energy production, and programmed cell death. Even though all 3 cannabinoids show anti-cancer activity, each one appeared to influence the cells a little differently, which could become important if the research ever explore combination therapy in the future. Yes, put them all 3 together. All 3 together. Please, and watch the magic truly happen. That's just me. It tells us that the cannabis research continues moving beyond THC and CBD into the so-called minor cannabinoids like CBG and CBN. Scientists are beginning to understand that these compounds may each have unique biological effects instead of simply doing the same thing with different names. But, and this is a big but, not mine, but the but. We're still talking about early stage laboratory research. Growing cancer cells in a dish is much simpler than treating cancer in a living person. Humans have immune systems, metabolism, blood circulation, other medications, and countless variables that can be recreated in a petri dish. Before anyone can even think about using these cannabinoids as cancer treatment, researchers would need to successfully do animal studies, followed by carefully controlled human clinical trials to determine safety and effectiveness. So the takeaway isn't that cannabis cures cancer. The takeaway is that researchers have identified another promising area worth investigating. Studies like this help scientists understand how cannabinoids interact with cancer cells at the molecular level. And that knowledge could someday contribute to new therapies or improve existing treatments. As always, this is why we love covering the science. Every study adds another piece to the puzzle, right, Mrs. Weedman?
That's right.
Some become dead ends, while others open entirely new doors. Like the doors, they open your mind. Either way, more we learn about the incredible plant, the better equipped we'll be able to separate fact from hype. And around here, that's how we keep what, Mrs. Weedman? Stomping the stigma. One study at a time. All right, Ms. Weedman. This is a big one. This is so big. When I read this on a bunch, I mean, this was all over the place when this launched. Cannabis, marijuana, whatever you call this wonderful plant that has angels in these leaves, use now, Mrs. Weedman, now, drum roll, now outpaces alcohol drinking and cigarette smoking. And this is a federal report. Not just me telling you all this.
Yeah.
Tell us about it, Ms. Weedman.
Yeah, this article comes from Marijuana Moment, and it's one of those stories that makes you stop and say, wow, we've officially entered a new era. According to newly released federal survey data, more Americans now use cannabis on a daily or near daily basis than those who drink alcohol daily or smoke cigarettes every day. The report estimates that about 21.4 million Americans use cannabis daily, or almost daily, compared to 19.9 million daily cigarette smokers and 17.2 million daily alcohol drinkers. Now, before anyone starts saying, everybody's smoking weed now, let's put those numbers into perspective. Alcohol is still by far the most commonly used substance overall. Roughly 129 million Americans reported drinking alcohol during the past month, compared with about 43.8 million cannabis users. The difference is that alcohol tends to be consumed occasionally by many people, while a much larger share of cannabis consumers report using it daily or nearly every day. The report also shows how quickly things have changed over the past few years. Since 2021, daily cannabis use has continued climbing, while daily tobacco smoking and daily alcohol consumption have steadily declined. That's remarkable. That's a huge shift in American habits, especially considering where cannabis stood just a generation ago. One reason researchers point to is legalization. As more states have adopted medical and adult use cannabis programs, access has increased, the stigma has fallen, and consumers have become more comfortable choosing cannabis instead of alcohol or tobacco in certain situations. Earlier research has found that cannabis use patterns have increasingly resembled tobacco, meaning regular users are more likely to consume it frequently rather than only on special occasions. This doesn't automatically mean daily cannabis use is good for everyone. Health experts continue to stress that heavy use carries risks, particularly for adolescents or for individuals who may be susceptible to cannabis use disorder or certain mental health conditions. Like any substance, responsible use and education remain important. I think what's really interesting is how much public perception has changed. Cannabis isn't just being viewed as something people use recreationally. For many adults, it's becoming part of their wellness routine, helping with sleep, chronic pain, stress, or simply replacing their desire for alcohol after a long, stressful day. Whether people agree with cannabis or not, the numbers don't lie. We're watching one of the biggest shifts in consumer behavior in decades, and the conversation isn't about whether cannabis is part of society anymore. It's about how we regulate it responsibly. And that's another reason we keep saying, stomp the stigma and free the plant.
Yeah. Stomp the stigma and free the plant. Love it. That is big. Mm-hmm. Just as big as how I can't wait to go to sleep because this strain is knocking me the hell out.
There were a couple times when you were reading that I just kind of zoned out completely.
That's a great strain for night.
Yeah.
We smoked it last night.
We did.
And I slept like a rock. Mm-hmm. Once I was out, I don't think I heard anything, and I don't think I wanted to wake up this morning. So yes, that was a good nighty-night strain. Ooh, meat Brett got me meaty. I don't think this next study is going to surprise a whole lot of longtime cannabis users. Scientists basically spent months researching something many of us have been saying for years. Music just hits differently when you're just smoking some weed. But instead of relying on stories from friends sitting around a campfire, the researchers wanted to measure it scientifically. Science, science, science. The study was conducted by researchers from several Canadian universities, including Dalhousie University. They surveyed 122 adults who regularly used cannabis and asked them an incredibly detailed set of 100. Ooh, that's a lot of fucking questions. 176 questions about their cannabis habits, music listening, emotions, health, and medication use. The project was supported by government's research funding, giving science a chance to explore something that's been mostly anecdotal until now. So, Mrs. Weedman, what did they find? First, the overwhelming majority of participants said cannabis made listening to music a better experience. I love fucking smoking weed and going to a concert. Right?
Yeah, totally.
It's great.
It just makes it so much
Everything better.
It elevates the experience.
Yes. People reported feeling more relaxed, emotionally connected, happier, and more immersed in whatever they were listening to. Many describe music as feeling richer, more meaningful, and even more personal after using cannabis. Now, you might be thinking, well, Mr. Weedman, no fucking kidding. But here's where it gets interesting. The researchers weren't just asking whether music sounded better. They want to know whether combining cannabis with music changed how people felt physically and emotionally compared to using cannabis by itself. According to the survey, many participants reported that pairing cannabis with music enhanced the overall therapeutic experience. Some felt great stress relief, better mood, reduced anxiety, and an increased sense of emotional well-being. Others said the combination helped them unwind after difficult days or made it easier to process emotions. The study also uncovered something that caught researchers' attention. Many participants reported using fewer prescription medications when cannabis and music became part of their wellness routine. That included medications for pain, anxiety, depression, and sleep. Now, and this is really important, the study did not prove that music and cannabis directly caused people to stop taking prescriptions. These were self-reported experiences, not controlled medical experiments. Researchers observed an association, but they can't say one thing definitely caused the other. That's one of the biggest lessons in reading scientific studies. There's a difference between correlation, Mrs. Weedman, and causation. Imagine every time it rains, you see people carrying umbrellas. The umbrellas didn't make it rain. They're just associated with rainy weather.
The power of association.
The study works the same way. It found that many participants who combined cannabis and music also reported positive health experience and less reliance on certain medications. Future clinical studies would be needed to determine whether the combination itself produces those outcomes. Another interesting point was that emotional connection to music. Researchers found that participants often describe becoming more absorbed in their songs while using cannabis. Instead of simply hearing music, they reported paying closer attention to melodies, lyrics, instruments, and emotional details they might normally overlook. Earlier research has also found that cannabis users commonly reported increased musical absorption and hearing sensitivity while listening to music. Think about your favorite song, Mrs. Weedman. Okay? Close your mind. Open your mind and close your eyes. Think about your favorite song. Maybe you've heard it 100 times. Then one evening you're relaxing. Your favorite strain kicks in. You throw on some good headphones and suddenly you're noticing a bass line, a guitar riff, harmony, or a lyric you somehow missed all these years. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of experience many participants were describing. Of course, every study has its limitations. The research relied on volunteers answering survey questions honestly. There wasn't a placebo group, no assigned people with different doses of cannabis. The researchers weren't measuring brain activity while participants listened to music. That means the findings reflect people's experiences, not definite proof of biological cause and effect. Still, studies like these are valuable because they help science understand how people actually use cannabis in everyday life, not just inside the laboratory. Now, the biggest takeaway. Cannabis is always being used in isolation. For many people, it's part of a broader wellness routine that may include music, meditation, creative hobbies, or relaxation techniques. Understand how these experiences interact could help researchers better design studies and eventually better therapies. And honestly, if science is finally confirming that a good playlist can make an evening even better, I volunteer to help with these next rounds of research. So call Mr. Weedman, will you? Just hand me some headphones, some of my favorite strains, and tell me it's for science. I think Mrs. Weedman might even volunteer to do the study too with me.
I would do it, yeah. I'm currently watching a frog about the size of a quarter eat bugs on the. He's on the window.
That's so great.
This window, he's at the top of the window. He's probably 10 feet off the ground. He's about the size of a quarter.
So flies, frogs.
Yeah.
Just this whole podcast room has just been something spectacular.
Welcome to nature
for our folks out there. So we love our friendly fur animals, dogs, right?
Yeah.
We love our Yuki.
Oh, yeah.
But we love dogs. We love our Gwenny Foo-Foos, which is Paulie's dog. She comes over a lot, and but we love dogs. I mean, every time I see a dog, you just want to pet it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but there's something cool here. Adding hemp to dog food improves digestive health. This is a new study. Tell us about it, Ms. Weedman.
Yeah, this is another great article from Marijuana Moment. And so I'm going to tell you what I read about. If you've ever called your dog your fur baby, this story might be right up your alley. Researchers in Thailand recently looked at whether hemp-derived ingredients could benefit a dog's digestive system. They studied 24 mixed-breed dogs over a 90-day period. One group received food containing hemp seed oil. Another ate food with a fiber-rich hemp seed byproduct, and a third group stayed on a regular diet for comparison. The results were pretty encouraging. Dogs eating the hemp-infused diets developed healthier and more diverse gut bacteria without disrupting the overall balance of their digestive systems. The hemp seed oil group showed the biggest increase in microbial diversity, while the fiber-rich hemp ingredient promoted a different set of beneficial bacteria. Researchers concluded that hemp ingredients appear to support canine gut health and can be safely included in dog food when properly formulated. What's interesting is that this wasn't a CBD study or a THC study. The focus was on hemp seed oil and hemp seed byproducts, which are naturally rich in nutrients, healthy fats, and fiber. That means the digestive benefits may come from the nutritional value of the hemp plant itself rather than cannabinoids that people usually would associate with cannabis. This also adds to a growing body of research into hemp and cannabis for pets. Previous studies have found CBD may help dogs with anxiety, arthritis, seizures, stress from travel, and even certain skin conditions. While more research is still needed, veterinarians and researchers are beginning to better understand where hemp-derived ingredients could fit into animal nutrition and wellness. I really like seeing research that's focused on nutrition. People are paying more attention to what goes into their pets' foods, just like they do with their own nutrition.
Just ask Mr. Weedman here. Mrs. Weedman, I drive Mrs. Weedman crazy.
Yeah, he's going to be at the store buying hemp seed oil for Yuki tomorrow. If hemp can naturally support digestive health, that's definitely worth studying. Researchers aren't saying hemp is a miracle cure. They're showing it may be safe, functional, and support gut health. As more evidence comes in, we could see hemp become a pretty common ingredient in premium dog foods. Or pet foods, I should say.
Premiums. That means it's going to be fucking expensive.
Yeah, more expensive.
Dog food ain't expensive enough already.
Yeah, right?
And we got a 75 to 80 pound German Shepherd, depending on where she's putting her weight on in the winter. Yeah. And so...
The princess.
That's your baby.
She's my baby. baby. My baby.
Nope, she's sleeping. Like she always does. This is her nap time when we do the show every Tuesday night.
She comes in and plops
right on. She has two spots.
She's super relaxed. She knows that we're not moving for an hour, so she can actually sleep.
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't have to watch us.
Right. She probably gets her best sleep on Tuesday nights when we're recording the show. And Mondays when I'm doing the show, because she usually will lay under the chair, head underneath the chair.
She knows you're not moving.
Yeah, I'm not moving for a while. So, yeah, that's when she's just like the most rested, when she doesn't have to pay attention and watch us every second of the day.
Our babysitter.
Yeah. Political, state, and business news. A new consumer poll found many hemp-derived THC users would simply switch to licensed marijuana dispensaries if hemp THC products were banned, rather than quitting. Well, I hope. So, respondents said they'd look for regulated alternatives where it's legal. The findings suggest that prohibition may shift the market instead of eliminating demand. Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers is urging Congress to protect the legality of federally compliant hemp-derived THC products. He urges the industry supports thousands of jobs, provides consumer choice, and has become an important part of the state's economy. California's cannabis community is celebrating home growers with competitions that recognize the best personally cultivated flower instead of commercially produced products. I love that. The events showcase cultivation skills, craftsmanship, and the passion behind home growing while bringing enthusiasts together. Sometimes the biggest trophies come from the smallest gardens. Grow on, my friends, and grow on. Minnesota breweries and THC beverages makers are watching Congress closely as a proposed federally hemp ban could disrupt one of the state's fastest growing drink markets. Many breweries have invested heavily in hemp-derived beverages and worry changing federal law can impact sales, jobs, and future expansion. Cannabis company Parallel is closing 2 cultivation facilities and laying off 211 employees and as it restructures operations. The move reflects ongoing financial pressure facing parts of the legal cannabis industry where oversupply, competition, and regulatory costs continue squeezing businesses. The cannabis industry continues shifting towards professionalism, with companies focusing more on profitability, efficiency, and sustainability, growth than rapid expansion. Investors are demanding stronger business fundamentals while operators adapt to changing consumers' habits and tighter financial conditions. Idaho's medical marijuana campaign is pushing back after state officials questioned why the initiative failed to qualify for the ballot. Campaign leaders say legal cannabis challenges and petition restrictions, not lack of public support, were the biggest obstacles. The debate isn't over, and supporters say they'll keep fighting. Persistence is one stubborn little plant. New Jersey's authorities alleged a man operated an unlicensed cannabis delivery service modeled after Speedweed. Love it. Love the name. And are seeking to recover more than $31,000 in alleged profits. Officials claim the business operated outside the state's regulated market. Man, let that fucking guy deliver. Speedweed. Amazing. An MMA fighter celebrated his victory in an unforgettable fashion by pulling a joint from his shorts and lighting it up inside the cage after the match. The moment quickly spread across social media, adding another viral cannabis moment to combat sports. Talk about ending the fight and then sparking one up. Pulled it out of his shorts. I mean, hopefully he had it in a tube or something because that shit would have been sweaty and fucking would have been fucking tasting his fucking ball sacks on his joint. Former U.S. Attorney General Bill Barr recently claimed marijuana as horrific health risk and no accepted medical value, repeating arguments long challenged by researchers and state medical cannabis programs. His comments arrive as more states continue expanding legal access and scientific research.
Smart guy. He really reads a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking jagoff. Oh, my God. That's a Southside Chicago.
Everything is a lie.
Yeah,
everything out there.
Everything.
All the news and research.
Horrific.
Look at the dangers.
Yeah.
Look at the bad potheads.
We're all dying right now.
Causing all the crimes.
We're all fucking turning into zombies and eating people's brains because we smoked cannabis for as long as we have. What a fucking...
I haven't left my bed in 500 days.
Gagoots.
Yeah, come on, dude.
Oh, my God.
Get with it. Someone should slip a
edible
in his drink.
Whatever. Licensed cannabis businesses in New York are urging Governor Kathy Hochul to veto legislation that would establish a separate minimum wage for the cannabis industry workers. Operators argue that the added labor costs could hurt struggling businesses already dealing with taxes, competition, and an illicit market. Lower the taxes down a lot, and then you could pay your employees a good fair wage if the states then use this as a fucking cash cow. Now, Mrs. Weedman, I'm passing the joint over to you. Yep.
I've got some more political, state, and business news, starting with Pennsylvania, where a funeral home accidentally became the destination for a 27-pound shipment of hashish and marijuana after scammers allegedly hijacked the business's UPS account. Smart guys. Staff noticed a suspicious shipping charge, then later opened a package they never ordered and immediately called the police. Talk about an unexpected delivery. A former Tesla employee has filed a lawsuit alleging the company discriminated against workers who legally use cannabis outside of work. The case raises questions about how employers should balance workplace safety with changing state cannabis laws. It seems legalization is opening new conversations in the HR departments. Grand Rapids, Minnesota, is moving forward with plans to open a city-owned cannabis dispensary by July of 27. If approved, the municipality would join a small but growing number of local governments entering the legal cannabis market to generate revenue and serve residents. That's just the biggest load of fucking shit. Seriously, really? Really? Do they own liquor stores? No. Do they own any retail?
In Pennsylvania, they do.
There's
dumb. State-owned liquor stores. There's some states that do that. I know it's crazy. So stupid.
That's dumb.
Nope. Yep, I agree with you.
Just stick with politics. One Colorado dispensary, they can't even do that right. One Colorado dispensary is turning a failed vehicle emissions test into a customer promotion by offering discounts to drivers who bring in proof they didn't pass inspection. I read that like 3 times, like, didn't pass? Why would you get rewarded? And I'm like, oh, because if they gave something to everybody who passed, they'd be broke. Yes. So you fail your inspection, head on in. It's a creative marketing campaign that's getting plenty of attention and putting smiles on customers' faces. I think that's great. California State Treasurer Fiona Ma says the state's voter-approved cannabis legalization system isn't delivering the results many expected. She believes the current framework should be replaced with a new ballot initiative aimed at reducing the illicit market and improving legal business conditions. Well, isn't that everywhere? California regulators have approved self-checkout kiosks for licensed cannabis retailers, allowing customers to complete purchases more efficiently while still meeting age verification and compliance requirements. The move could help reduce wait times and modernize the retail experience. Pretty soon, grabbing your favorite flower may be almost as easy as buying groceries. Nebraska voters approved medical cannabis initiatives, but supporters say state lawmakers have been slow to implement the program. Advocates continue pushing elected officials to carry out what the voters have already decided at the ballot box. Cannabis prohibition groups are continuing to challenge federal marijuana rescheduling efforts, arguing the science and legal processes don't support moving cannabis to Schedule III. Their testimony comes as federal officials review evidence and public comments before making their final decision. This conversation has been rolling for decades. An independent living community in Arizona has introduced a cannabis ordering kiosk designed to make purchasing easier for senior residents. The system allows eligible adults to browse products and place orders with added convenience while following state regulations. Grandma's learning new technology, and she might be faster than all of us. And more high.
I like that. Arizona for the win.
Go Granny. The Federal Aviation Administration is reviewing possible updates to marijuana policies for pilots and air traffic controllers if cannabis is federally rescheduled. Officials are examining how impairment standards and employment rules might change while maintaining aviation safety. Well, one thing never changes. You definitely want the plane flown by a clear-headed pilot.
There you go.
Back over to you, Mr. Weedman.
Thanks, Ms. Weedman. A federal judge sentenced a former U.S. Border Patrol agent to prison after prosecutors said he accepted bribes to wave vehicles carrying large quantities of marijuana through the immigration checkpoint. The case highlights ongoing corruption concerns tied to drug trafficking along with the southern border. Guests and peoples thought the express lane came with extra perks. Idaho medical cannabis advocates have decided not to challenge the state's disqualifications of thousands of petition signatures ending this year's ballot effort. Organizers say they'll regroup, learn from the process, and prepare for future campaigns to bring medical marijuana before voters. Florida's First District Court and appeal ruled employees may legally terminate workers for off-duty medical marijuana use. Florida, what the fuck is wrong with you? What do we say? No fucks, Florida?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, oh my gosh. Even when the employee is registered state patient. The decision reinforces that Florida's medical cannabis law doesn't require employers to accommodate marijuana use outside the workplace. Florida, man. Holy fuck. The U.S. Senate included language in the new federal spending bill that would temporarily delay the planned nationwide ban on hemp-derived THC products. The move gives hemp businesses and consumers more time while lawmakers continue debating long-term regulations. For now, hemp gets a little breathing room, and that's no small puff. Michael Jordan once expressed concerns that marijuana use could affect professionalism and discipline in the NBA, reflecting attitudes common during his playing career. Decades later, league policies and public opinion have shifted dramatically as more athletes openly discuss cannabis for recovery and wellness. Michael, You smoke cigars like it's going out of style, and you love your bourbon. You drank and smoked cigars while you were a professional. No one judged you for what you did. There's a lot of basketball, a lot of athletes that smoke weed and that didn't get caught. And they played just as good on the court, field, whatever, with or without. There was a pitcher back in the 70s, okay, that dropped a hit of acid and pitched the whole 9-inning game and pitched a no-hitter.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes. He was on LSD.
Wow.
Yes. And he pitched better than he ever pitched before.
That's crazy.
Yes. I think he played for the Pittsburgh Pirates. I don't remember his name. So, yes. Colorado has dozens of vacant indoor cannabis cultivation facilities, and some developers believe those buildings could be converted into AI data centers. The sites already have heavy electrical infrastructures, making them attractive for high-powered computing operations. I'm only bringing this up because it was an article I read. I know the AI data centers are there's a lot of shit going on with them right now across the world. So, and how much water they use and how much they damage the environment. But maybe this can be something different. I don't know. So, a newly introduced congressional bill would require cannabis, alcohol, and kratom beverages to use standardized coded labels so consumers can quickly identify what type of product they're buying. Supporters say clearer packaging can improve safety and reduce accidental consumption. Alcohol retailers welcome the Senate's decision to delay the federal ban of hemp-derived THC beverages, saying the move protects a rapidly growing product category where lawmakers work on permanent rules. Businesses hope the extra time will provide clarity instead of confusion. Nobody likes changing the recipe halfway through the party, Mrs. Weedman. Alabama officials are considering whether or not to opt out of marijuana rescheduling if cannabis moves to Schedule 3. Legal experts say the decision could affect state enforcement, medical cannabis implementation, and future regulatory policies. Alabama. Roll Tide. Cannabis companies across the country are investing in community programs through expungement clinics, job training, education, charitable giving, neighborhood cleanups, and veteran support. Industry leaders say building trust means giving back to communities that help legalization become reality. And that is political, state, and business news, everybody. Now, Mrs. Weedman, is there a cannabis culture? And what does it mean for the businesses of cannabis?
Yeah, this weed is definitely
mellow as
chill.
fuck. I want to go to bed.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go fucking sleep. I slept like a fucking rock last night.
Yeah, that was good.
We smoked, 2.5 of those, maybe 3? Mm-hmm. And I think I fell asleep on you on the couch last night. I think I couldn't move. Remember, I couldn't move? I was I was like sloth. You were making fun of me. I was like, this is great sleep weed, not for doing the show.
Or a little slow motion over here. Turtle.
I'm very, very reading, very slow. Some of you might have to put this at 2 times speed on anything.
In case you don't know that, you can increase the speed on your podcast listening.
When we're smoking heavy indica strains that have this kind of effects.
Just hit speed like 1.25 or 1.5.
Heavy myrcene, this is the stuff that kind of, just makes me go, I will go to bed. So, I won't probably be the last time I smoke this particular strain on the show. I'm not saying I will never smoke Night Phantom again. Maybe take their hybrid or their, uppity strain and for show. Yeah. But this for night.
Pretty good.
Oh, sleepy sleep.
All right, Mr. Weedman, I'm getting back to this.
Tell us about it.
Yeah. Is there a cannabis culture? And what does it mean for business? This article asks the question that's actually pretty deep. Does cannabis still have its own culture, or is it just becoming another consumer product? To get that answer, Forbes gathered perspectives from several well-known cannabis leaders, including cultivators, entrepreneurs, retailers, and even actor and cannabis advocate Jim Belushi. While everyone had a slightly different take, there was one thing they all agreed on. Cannabis culture is real, but it's evolving as legalization spreads. Years ago, cannabis culture was built around activism, community, music festivals, underground growers, and people willing to risk a lot to enjoy or advocate for the plant. It wasn't just about getting high. It was about pushing back against prohibition and fighting for personal freedom. Today, the legal market has brought cannabis into the mainstream. You can walk into a beautiful dispensary, browse products like you're shopping at an Apple store, and pay with a debit card in many places. That's great for consumers, but it also raises a question. Can a business grow without losing the culture that it built or that built it? That's more important. Several industry leaders argued that the companies finding the most success are the ones that stay authentic. Instead of chasing every trend, they're focused on education, quality, community, and respecting the legacy market that kept cannabis alive for decades before legalization. Others pointed out that culture isn't just about smoking anymore. It's about wellness, creativity, social equity, craftsmanship, sustainability, and giving consumers a genuine connection to the plant, not simply another product on a shelf. Brands that understand that emotional connection often build stronger customer loyalty than those focused only on price. I think that's what makes cannabis different from most industries. Cannabis has stories, traditions, friendships, and a history that's been passed down for generations, and that's something worth protecting. Cannabis isn't just an industry, it's a movement. The legal market is important, but we can't forget the people who fought for legalization long before it became profitable. If companies remember their roots while building great businesses, everybody wins. And that's what we've always believed here on the show. It's not just about selling cannabis. It's about honoring the culture, educating people, stomping the stigma, and continuing to free the plant.
Free the plant.
Free
We've heard that a
the
bunch
plant.
today, too.
Yeah.
A few times today, not only just on the show. Free the plant.
Free the
We've
plant.
been saying that for a very, very long time. And I love seeing more and more people using that phrase.
That term.
That's great.
Phrase, yeah.
Not saying that we started it, but
Right.
just seeing more and more people using it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Stop the stigma, free the plant.
Mm-hmm.
Education is huge in this industry. Everyone needs to be educated. A lot of people out there are uneducated when it comes to cannabis. So it's great that people are learning more and more about it. And then, helping free 40,000 prisoners that are still locked up. Make no sense. And here we go to international news, everybody. Paraguayan authorities seized more than 40 tons of marijuana hidden inside shipments and used U.S. trucks headed for export. Officials say the operation dealt a major blow to international drug trafficking networks and highlighted the creative methods smugglers continue to use. 40 tons. Oh, shit. That's a lot of fucking weed. Thailand's government continues adjusting its cannabis policies after rapid legalization created confusion over recreational use, medical access, and business regulations. Officials are working to tighten oversight while preserving legitimate medical cannabis programs. It just goes to show legalization is one thing. Writing the rule book is another adventure entirely. I think the Coast Guard, too, off the coast of the Bahamas, got $2.4 million worth of weed last week or some shit like that, too. So, yeah, crazy. Health Canada. Oh, and I also read too. One of the largest international cocaine drug busts. $495 million worth of cocaine seized and burned.
Whoa.
I don't remember what country did it, but it was crazy.
Wow.
$490-something million worth of fucking cocaine. Crazy. Health Canada has updated several cannabis policies, including revisions to import requirements, odor control expectations for licensed facilities, and industrial hemp regulations. The changes are intended to streamline oversight while maintaining product quality and public safety. Police in New Zealand arrested 16 people after coordinated raids that covered the estimated $6.5 million worth of cannabis across properties in Rotorua and Auckland. Auckland, we love you. The authorities say the investigation targeted organized criminal activity and resulted in one of the country's largest recent cannabis seizures. Australian doctors are raising concerns about the growing demand for medical cannabis prescriptions, saying some telehealth clinics may not always provide thorough patient evaluations. Regulators are reviewing prescribing practices while emphasizing the importance of appropriate medical oversight. As cannabis access expands, responsible medicine still comes first. Even good tools need good instructions. Police in England dismantled another sophisticated legal cannabis cultivation operation, discovering hundreds of plants inside of commercial property. Investigators say organized crime groups continue adapting their methods despite ongoing enforcement efforts. This is all the news that's been coming out overseas. It needs to tell you all something.
Mm-hmm.
They should legalize decriminalized weed because actually people want it. So Brazilian federal police in investigating allegations involve President Luiz Lula da Silva, son of possible connections to the medical cannabis sector. Officials say the investigation is ongoing and no conclusions have been reached. Israel has temporarily closed its anti-dumping investigation into Canada cannabis imports after officials identified procedural errors during the review process. The decision paused potential trade measures while authorities reassessed the case. Even international trade disputes sometimes need a do-over. A Vietnamese couple bought to New Zealand to work in what they believed was legitimate employment, instead found themselves running an illegal cannabis grow operations. After this case unfolded, immigration officials issued deportation orders. It's a reminder that if a job offer sounds too shady, probably belongs in the weeds. That is international news, everybody. And crazy how most of that international news were drug busts and nothing positive. I apologize. I just like here in the States, overseas, cannabis is still being scrutinized, beat up, still being fucking, you can go to jail for just holding a joint. It's just terrible. And we, the people of this world, keep on taking this shit from our leaders. I don't think there should be a king, queen, or czar ruling over us. There's only one, but that's me.
You're the king?
No, there's only one up above. But I'm just saying, we let these rulers, governments, people we vote for, do nothing to help us, the people. The people. They just take. Let me ask you all a question real quick before Mrs. Weedman ends it. Let me ask you a question. And this is just me thinking right now because I'm stoned. If all hell broke loose, right? Even Yuki's hearing it. Mm-hmm. If all hell broke loose in your country or your state or your city, be honest with yourself and think about it. Do you think your government officials would be there to have your back? Abso-fucking-lutely not. They're going to call the military in to protect them and their assets before they fucking protect yours. Because you're all going to be fucking...
They'll pretend, or they'll claim to be helping.
Yeah. Okay.
But look at all the national disasters. They drop out. They're happening weekly.
Oh my God. The fires around the world right now are fucking serious.
They're happening probably monthly around our nation. And they're on the news for 5 minutes. And then it's old news because they don't want to keep talking about it because people would be like in an uproar. I think if you really thought about every day how many homes and people are displaced because of natural disaster, government and insurance is not covering
it's all
that.
About
it's just
money.
A mess.
Yes. No one takes care of you. You have to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we have to live like this in a world that only cares about power, greed, and money, and we all keep on taking their shit. Sorry, it's just me. I'll get off my soapbox. And now, this article is for a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Reached out to me asking me how I juice my my cannabis leaves when I make my juice. I gave him how I do it, and I say it's too bitter to drink. I usually pour it in a smoothie. So I did some research and found a cool article about how raw cannabis beet juice, a summer wellness recipe, is made with cannabis leaves. So this is for you, Mr. Matty G, my friend, homie. Appreciate you for the text and the phone call. We had a good hour conversation. So I've talked to you in a hot minute. And this one's for you. Tell us about it, Ms. Weedman.
Yeah, this is a fun one to end our research segment because it introduces you all to a completely different way of thinking about cannabis, juicing the raw plant. This is not our research segment.
This is culture.
Anymore. This is culture.
This is culture.
Moving on. When most people think of cannabis, they think about THC and getting high. But this article reminds us that the cannabis plant has another side that's often overlooked: raw cannabis as a nutritious food. Unlike dried and heated cannabis, raw cannabis hasn't gone through decarboxylation. So compounds like THCA and CBDA remain in their natural form. That means drinking fresh cannabis juice won't produce the intoxicating effects associated with THC. Instead, advocates believe you're getting many of the plant's vitamins, antioxidants, minerals, and naturally occurring cannabinoids in their original state. The featured recipe combines fresh cannabis leaves with beets, carrots, apples, ginger, and lemon to create a nutrient-packed juice. The earthy sweetness of the beets helps balance the flavor of the fresh cannabis, while the ginger and lemon brighten everything up. It's essentially a wellness juice that happens to include one of nature's most versatile plants. Research on raw cannabis consumption is still developing, though. Many people believe compounds like THCA and CBDA may have beneficial properties. Scientists are continuing to study exactly how those cannabinoids work with the body before making broad health claims. That's why recipes like this are best viewed as part of a healthy diet, not as a replacement for medical treatments. Cannabis has always been more than just THC. Whether it's hemp, CBD, fiber, seeds, or even fresh leaves, we're continuing to discover just how versatile this plant really is. The more we learn, the more it proves that cannabis has a place in agriculture, nutrition, medicine, and everyday wellness.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's for you, Maddie G. Enjoy that recipe, everybody. I do love juicing my leaves and putting it in my smoothies. It's very bitter. I just can't drink it.
Yeah.
Not like a wheatgrass shot. No way.
No.
No. So it's way too. I tried it. I just can't do it. So I just always had it in a sealed container and just added it to my smoothies until I was done with it. So this is Weedman.
Mr. Weedman.
That's the end of the show.
Yeah, it is.
I'm ready to go to bed.
Yeah.
That was joy. I almost want another one of those and sleep like a fucking rock. I can't wait. Got anything else to say before we go?
Everybody have a fantastic week. No, that's it. Have a great week.
Oh,
Thanks for listening.
I like your necklace.
Oh, I'm wearing the dog's. I realized I had that on still. This is the dog's necklace. But it's natural stones.
It
So
actually looks good.
I kind of like
It looked
it.
good on you.
It gave me good juju when I put it on.
He made it for Yuki, so
I did.
she don't wear it, you wear it. Hey, everybody out there, we love you. We really do. We appreciate you listening to the show. We appreciate all the kind words, all the support. We love you out there. Go out there and have some fucking fun. Go enjoy some life. We love you. As Paulie always says, smoke smart. Puff, puff, and away.
Puff, puff, pass.
Check out our cannabis lifestyle brand online at 8decades.com. Our custom smokes and accessories are perfect for your coffee table, bedroom nightstand, or kitchen counter. They're designed for you to show them off. The Canna community is also loving our hemp and cotton blend t-shirts, sweatshirts, scarves, and hats, finished off with our 8 Decades logo. We've got some awesome long-lasting goods that will be your favorite for years to come. 8 Decades, because a 9th decade of cannabis prohibition isn't acceptable.